And welcome back to Social Media Snapshot. We are live at the Foundry. We are talking about this amazing day today, World Social Media Day, around the world, in Kenya in particular, with 2 million plus members on Twitter alone, millions more on Facebook. This is no doubt the place to be. Joining me now on the far end, we're going to talk corporate, we're going to talk social, we're going to talk personal. Ahmed Salim works for Cube Limited, integrated marketing agency. He's the social media fanatic. And right next to me, a man who's literally just overtaken me in terms of Twitter followers. And I'm impressed because I didn't think it would be possible in this time and day. Real name is Arthur Mandela, believe it or not. You all know him better as Xtian Dela. He owns a company called Crescent 360, digital strategist, social media marketer. He's voted most influential African on Twitter. He's also the winner of Africa's Best Blogger 2014. Gentlemen, happy Social Media Day.
Happy Social Media Day.
Good to see you guys. Well done. We're talking a little earlier on. This thing is massive, isn't it?
It's massive. It's big. It's really big. Really big. And I think the growth of social media, it's like none other seen. Kenya is really active on social media. And people are making a living. I am making a living. I am testimony that social media is big and it's going places.
And you wouldn't do anything if you had a choice to do something else, would you? Right now?
I don't think. Social media is it for me.
Yeah. Ahmed, do the corporates get it? Because in this day and age, you either get on the highway, you go with the flow of the traffic, or get off.
We have a statement we always tell them, you snooze, you lose. When we set it up in 2012, it was a challenge actually getting corporates to buy into social media. They always look at numbers, what sales on social media get them. But then now with the way how it's picked up, with numbers all going, TV viewership maybe going lower, digital engagement going up, they have no choice. You find them now looking for agencies to try and dive into the conversation and be part of the digital world.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of digital world and digital space, Ahmed's Twitter handle is @Ahmed Salim, Xtian Dela. He doesn't need any more numbers, but okay. His is @X, the letter X, Tian Dela, @Xtian Dela. He's got 579,000 followers and counting. Actually, I guess a million is not far off when you think about it.
It is not far off, but we're in Kenya. So, and I think the most followed person is 800 and something thousand, 890,000.
The president.
The president. The president.
Yes.
The president.
And that's because he's the president. Let's face it. If he wasn't president, he wouldn't have those numbers.
Definitely.
You would be number one. How does it feel, by the way, first of all?
It's humbling to some extent. It is humbling to have Kenyans follow you in masses. But then again, one thing I think I need to point out, having numbers doesn't directly relate to the influence. You can have the numbers, but you don't have the influence. Jeff, believe you me, there are times I post something that I don't even get a single retweet.
No.
True story.
And you post a lot.
I post a lot. I post, I think, at least 1,000 tweets a day.
And you are good at hashtags, aren't you? I mean,
yes,
I see you are Mr. Hashtag. If you were working for a newspaper, you'd be the guy doing the headlines.
Yes, definitely. And it comes with reading people, understanding what they think, and understanding what they love. As I was saying, telling you before the interview, coming up with a hashtag is an art that I've learned over the years. Simply, if you want to make something trend, you need to think about a topic, and you need to have 10 ideas about the topic. If you have less than 10 ideas about the topic, it won't trend. Because if I have 10 ideas, believe you me, Kenyans will have more. But if you have less, it won't trend. So over the years, I've mastered the art of coming up with just the title, depending on the topic of the day. Like today, Lupita is in the country. And I can come up with something just off my head, something like things Lupita has brought Kenyans, or hashtag what Lupita has seen in the US. So Kenyans are going to tear it down. Kenyans are going to come guns blazing the whole 9 years and just go all crazy on it. Because off the head I can say things Lupita has seen in the US. He's seen Obama. He's seen
Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty. Yeah. He's taking a selfie with Oprah. He's taking a selfie with Rihanna or something like that. No, believe you me, that is just 4 or 5 tweets. Kenya's going to come up with crazy numbers, crazy tweets, and in 2, 3, 5 minutes, it's going to trend.
Ahmed, you were talking earlier on, and Christian alluded to it. influencers as opposed to
ambassadors.
go on.
Well, it's a thin line. It's a discussion that people they have, like people for a whole day discussing it. Influencers normally used to spread the awareness, the word of the market, the word of the digital space. So what happens is, as a client, you find clients want to see returns. They don't want to know about the awareness. They believe I can put an ad, everyone's going to see it, I can boost my post, it's going to be seen. But if I'm hiring somebody, I want to see sales of return. So you find that if today maybe you might be promoting, let's say, a particular brand X, tomorrow it's promoting brand Y, what credibility does it carry when maybe X and Y are actually competing brands? So you find when working with people like him or influencers, because for us, he's a client, he's a supplier, sorry, and we actually use him for our clients as well. So what happens is, we are very careful the person first we engage with. Numbers, yes, they come in because we want to know the reach that we reach, but then what influence does it carry? Now, will it impact a purchase? Will it impact a call to action? Is it a link to a website? Is it a subscription? Is it what KRA is doing right now? Will they make people sign up for the iTax returns? So you find there's a thin line, and most people, the more credible, the one which people like in most brands is ambassador, not influence, because ambassador is more of earned media than paid media, which is an influence. Because influencer has a rate card, has to be paid for a particular fee, has a timing that he can't do certain things at particular timing, maybe because he's engaging with another brand at the same time. But an ambassador will do it willingly. An ambassador is because he loves it. I'll give you a good example with the iPhone. Apple is zero on digital. Yeah. They don't have Facebook, they don't have Twitter, they do nothing. But people love that brand. Now, the people who go out of their queue up long queues just to buy the product, but they believe in the product. Now, that's the ambassador.
Why are they on Facebook? Why are they on Twitter?
It's a personal choice because they believe they want people to own it, and that's why you find there's a whole split of earned, paid, and owned media. So for them, they focus purely on earned media, which comes from the people themselves, because they believe if the product is good, if there's impact in people's lives, it will sell. And you find as much as it is expensive, people actually go out there and invest in those technology and the devices because they believe in it. Tomorrow, a new brand is coming, a new device is coming with the same brand, they'll still invest in it. And that's why you find it might be good, yes, to have members to spread the name, to spread the word in the space, but the biggest impact most brands look at is what am I getting in return? What is it that my brand is getting? So maybe you justify it as brand equity, you're looking at brand awareness, but then bottom line comes in sales. Am I getting my sales? Am I getting my sign-ups? What's the call to action? So when working with influencers, they have to be very clear. What are your deliverables? Your deliverables are to make sure that people are talking about this particular brand for a particular time of the day, or make sure it trends, or make sure you're sharing with your audience that they have a conversation around it. Yeah. Sometimes it works, sometimes, like he said, it might not even take off. Yeah. It's all dependent on the topic.
Excellent. In Kenya, yes, corporates have no choice but to be on what I've noticed. I mean, Safaricom obviously set the trend, and they ran with it. They're literally running with this ball. Yes. There are others who seem a little reluctant. You know, they're not quite sure whether they want to get into this game, and they're being left behind, aren't they?
Yeah, they are being left behind, and we are in an age where, like he said, you snooze, you lose. Yeah. So if you're not on social media, you're not relevant anymore. I was reading Mashable, and they were saying that at least 70% of people right now are looking to social media as a reference point before they make sales. They go on social media to see what people are talking about the brand. Because here's social media, people talk the honest truth without being coerced. They say what the brand is, the product is, and that is where you can literally get anything. You go on social media and search if this cup is good, you just search the Safaricom cup. What are people talking about? If it's good, I'll buy it. If it's bad, I won't buy it. Another thing on Mashable I read recently is that Kenya is ranked number 2 after Egypt as the most active social media customer care platform.
In Africa?
In the world.
In the world?
In the world. Yes, it is. And you see, companies are now embracing social media because I think the response rate is I think 68% on social media, and it is actually really fast to actually tweet Safaricom rather than calling them. Yeah. It's much easier. It's much easier. So companies have no option than to get on social media. to sell their products, to launch their products, to get feedback from their products, and basically brand awareness and market everything. Social media right now.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. And also, you see, the other thing is most brands, companies think social media is a cheaper alternative. It's not. You have to invest in it. Look at Safaricom, for example. Since we're talking about it, we just use it as an example. They've invested highly in it. They've invested in training. They've invested in technology. They've invested in ensuring that the responses are prompt and people prefer tweeting than calling. So if people who think it's cheap, it's not. There's a whole strategy behind it. There's a whole team that works. It's not just the person who's on the screen. And then the other thing we look at is, with social media, you're able to get analytics that can actually guide your next quarter strategy or your next year strategy for your business. So you find, for example, if we are working with a particular brand X, we can get back after 3 months to the client and say, you know what, your target audience is wrong, your conversation, your targeting male, actually your product is more engaging with women, and your age bracket, maybe you're looking at 40s, no, bring it down to the 18s, maybe they're the ones who are taking more market, and we give you maybe more massa is doing very well, and you're focusing on consumer. How about now we do a proper strategy for you? All that can be brought in from digital.
In real time.
In real time. And the beauty we give is we normally give it a period of 3 months to test, because normally it can spike and then it can come down. But then if you give it a 3 months, you can have a collective average of how your brand is performing. So with research as well, like he said, it is truly that you might want to launch a product online. You can actually just hire an agency or go to one of the digital space and listen. Don't even ask, just listen. Listen to what people are saying. Listen to what conversations are going around. You'll be surprised. Your whole strategy will come from social media.
Hire Extendella, man, and that's all you need. Speaking of which, you can live and die on this, right? I mean,
yes.
Twitter, Facebook, they can slaughter you or they can build you.
They can slaughter you, they can build you. A good example, Teacher Wanjiko. Yes, her show came on Citizen TV.
Yeah. There was a lot of hoopla around it. I mean, there was a huge buzz.
A huge buzz about it.
Yeah.
But after the first show, it died. Social media killed it. People went there and hated, and it was pulled back. It was just done for.
Yes.
Social media has made people. Social media has made me. No lie. Social media has built me to the point that from social media, I've now gotten into mainstream media. I've gotten into radio and I'm getting into TV because of social media. It simply depends on how you take social media. Social media is also known for kind of like bringing down Hashan.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, let's face it.
Yeah.
Hashan De Silva brought him down.
Brought him down, but he's still on. He's still forging forward with social media.
Is it difficult to come back from something like that? Is it tough?
It is tough. It is tough. Let me tell you, 8 years on social media, I've learned to be strong. Really, really strong. You won't believe the amount of hate I get each and every day on social media. Thing is, you need to be planned, you need to be strategized, and you need to know what you're doing on social media. And the end game is what matters. My end game is business, is money, is growth. And if you're there just for the fun and fame, you're going to be hot. So to me, if I get insults or whatnot on social media, I ignore that. You know, on social media, if you ignore someone, they start wondering, are you seeing my tweet? Are you not? What is happening?
And they resend it.
They resend it. So to me, if I get a lot of hate on social media, I counter that with my pictures, funny pictures, with my trending topics. And at the end of the day, you're wondering, is this person not seeing my tweet? So you become like a fool. So you just back off and you go. But I see it.
And in the end, do they back off?
They do back off after some time, but some people don't back off. Some people don't. Oh my goodness. And that's why there's a button known as the block button. On Twitter. I love that button.
Press that.
Believe you me, having 579,000
and
numbers,
counting.
I've blocked more than 3,000 people on Twitter.
Wow.
Believe you me, I have.
Wow. Ahmed, the next step, politics. Because if you look at the last election, Peter Kenneth won on social media. He had the Twitter numbers, he had Facebook, he had won. But it didn't translate to reality. More and more politicians are on Twitter now. They're using this as a platform.
Actually, the whole political angle of it in digital is changing. When you look at the previous election, yes, Marcus Berua, Peter Kenneth, they were all active and they felt, okay, I have good numbers.
Good numbers.
We will get this people. But forgetting the people who were voting, people actually on the ground as well, who were not on digital at that time. And the numbers are still growing, yes. Now when you look at a situation like that, you can't forget that you can't do a strategy of a political campaign and just focus on ground, only forgetting that there's an online platform. The online platform for political is mainly for assurance, for communication, for guaranteeing your message, sending out your message, manifesto if at all they're followed. So what happens is to convince, yes, you might get in one or two. Look at how our president is embracing digital. Actually, he's among, apart from one, he's the second most active president on digital. And he's giving everyone a day-to-day update of what he's doing. Things we don't know. Okay, will that change my mind? It might change a few percentage. People like, yes, I need to vote for him the next time because he's actually working. It has an impact. But now, that time it was very minimal. Now the percentage is bigger. And more politicians, as they're getting online, they will definitely have an impact with this generation. Because, let's face it, the generation is changing gradually. It's a different generation that's coming in. There's a time in 2007 every young person who had a new ID wanted to go and vote. Things went chaotic, yes. This previous election it wasn't as much because people were scared. But now, if there is assurance in the country, if there is the fact that yes, you have a right to vote, leader based on his thinking, his strategy, his manifesto, then I think social media is a chance to explain yourself.
Yeah. Finally, excellent. In the next 3, 5, 10 years, will this social media landscape change drastically? Is it going to be different a decade from now?
A decade from now, I think definitely going to be different. With more game players coming in the market, like right now, Periscope is in the market. Periscope is an app that lets you broadcast to the world live from your phone.
From your phone?
From your phone, like right now. Like I was just watching Lupita
at the press conference.
At the press conference right now, live. Safari Football actually streaming that on Periscope. And each and every day, new apps and new things are coming up. And you, to remain relevant, you have no option than to run with it and just build yourself with it. And I think 5, 10 years from now, I think Africa is going to be one of the, if not biggest in Africa, one of the biggest online hotspots in the world.
I totally agree, because if you see these situations where companies like Google opening offices in Kenya, Facebook trying to come to Africa, set up South Africa just the other day, Twitter opening an office in Nairobi as well very soon, you find that they've seen the potential and can't let it go. Kenyans are active. KOTs, I think, are set a record that is recognized globally. Now, with that said, things are changing, trends are changing. Digital is so dynamic. How we used to post and sell brands online in 2012 is not the same we're doing now. And you see, for digital, it's a whole 360. It's not just social media on its own of updating. There's the media buying bit of it, which again, they're making money. There's the online PR of it, which again, it's a whole different ballgame on its own. And you find like in Kenya, not many have embraced the online PR side. I think in Kenya I can even vouch for a Kenyan girl being the best online PR person I know.
Yeah.
Because she has really embraced it and focused on that way.
Who's that?
Naomi.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's her Twitter handle?
A Kenyan girl.
You don't know.
I do. What's that?
She's there.
Yeah.
She's looking at you right now.
Like Kamba colors.
So that's it. You find that those are things that you start thinking, because it's not about the buzz anymore. It's not about the numbers. It's about the impact. It's about the conversation.
Quality, not quantity.
Exactly. Yes. And you find now, like, good example is what happened in Nakuma the other day. Online PR played a role to stop it. They played a role, and I think she was one of the people who actually participated in controlling it. But you find that now those are the things that brand need to focus on. And then there's the media aspect, because having 573,000, you might not even get a retweet.
True.
Imagine a brand with just 1,000 followers.
Keeps retweeting.
They don't have engagement, so they need to get the word out there. So media comes in. That's why you find Google focusing and investing highly. Facebook giving agencies big discounts on media buying. Twitter coming every other day saying, hey, let's form a partnership, because they don't want to lose that space. Because if you snooze, you lose.
On that note, gentlemen, thanks so much. Ahmed Salim from Cube Limited. Good luck. All the best.
Thank you.
Extendella, we'll see you at 1 million. Keep at it, man.